Welcome back to Temple Emmanuel in Orange Village. This week, as the fall weather progresses towards winter, we are reading the Torah portion known as Toldot. Toldot means generations or the story of a family, a people, perhaps the story of all humanity. The central message, the central narrative in this week's Torah portion is the beginning of the rivalry between Yaakov and Esav, the rivalry between Jacob and Esau, that begins almost at the moment of the birth of these two twins. Our rabbis use Jacob obviously as the paradigm, the precursor of the people of Israel, and by the Middle Ages we are using the image of Esau, of Esav, as the paradigm or even the secret code word for the Roman Catholic Church. The rabbis did that because they saw in this story of Jacob and Esau a story of the constant struggle of different groups of human beings, perhaps evil at some times, perhaps good at other times, to live together with each other and to share the resources that God has provided for us in this world. The story paints Jacob in a not so favorable light and paints Esau in a reasonable light. Neither person in the actual text is as bad or as good as his or her public relations in the later rabbinic and Christian traditions. Perhaps the most poignant part of the Torah portion comes out of the mouth, not of Jacob, but out of the mouth of Esau. In learning that his brother has tricked Isaac, the blind old father, into giving Jacob the birthright, Esau is hysterical. He's in tears. He says, Vayomer Esav el Aviv, Esau says to his father, Habracha echad hi lecha avi. Father, do you have only one blessing? Isn't there more? Isn't there something left over for me? I may not be the best person in the world. You may not even like me, but I'm entitled to some of the blessing. And he goes on, Barcheni gam ani avi, bless me too, my father. The political realities of the last few weeks have shown us that there are people in our society, people perhaps who we don't like, people whose views we may not agree with, who have not received the blessings and do not see that their future generations will receive the blessings that are perhaps given to others. Our rabbis teach us that injustice and inequality, no matter who is the victim and who is the perpetrator, always leads to unrest, unhappiness, and perhaps even to violence. Earlier on in the story, when Jacob is covered with the skin of an animal so that the blind Isaac will think that he's the hairy Esau, Isaac somehow realizes that something's wrong. And even though he feels the hairy skin that could be Esau, he listens to the voice, and the voice is the voice of Jacob. And before he gives him the blessing, there's a little bit of doubt. Vayomer, and he says, Hakol kol Yaakov, v'hayadayim yidei Esav. The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. On some level, Isaac and the rest of us need to understand that each one of us, each religious group, each ethnic group, each racial group in our society is in some ways Jacob and in some ways Esau. We can have the hands of an Esau and the voice of a Jacob, or the voice of an Esau, the rough voice of an Esau, and the smooth hands of a Jacob. That capacity for good or evil is within each one of us. That capacity to do right and to do wrong exists in every group, in every family, and in every race. What's the solution? The solution is an understanding that there are blessings enough. There isn't just one blessing. The good that is in this world, the material good as well as the spiritual good, is not a zero-sum game. We all have Jacob and we all have Esau. And the question that Jacob and Esau eventually learned was how to live together side by side in peace. And that's how our Toldot, that's how our future generations will survive and thrive. Have a great week and a wonderful Shabbat.